I'm good. Are you good?
Let's go.
How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Why?
It happens.
Because?
It's just part of shooting. You're always nervous. Let's go. Good day, South Africa. I'm Palesa Marike, and this is your Tigere24 weekly bulletin, your trusted recap of the biggest headlines across the country and around the world. Let's dive right in. We begin with a bombshell from KwaZulu-Natal. Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwananzi made explosive allegations implicating senior officers and a cabinet minister in political interference and collusion with crime syndicates. Mkhwananzi accused Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya of sabotaging investigations in political assassinations. He says over 120 case dockets were removed, and internal SAPS records suggest a coordinated plot to dismantle the task team. He even named Brown Mogotsi, a former MK operative, as a middleman allegedly tipping off businessmen linked to criminal networks. He claims Minister Mchunu received funding from a corrupt businessman for political ambitions. President Ramaphosa responded swiftly, placing Mchunu on special leave and announcing a judicial commission of inquiry. But not everyone's convinced. Opposition parties say a commission isn't enough. They're calling for Mchunu's outright dismissal. Social media users echoed the frustration, slamming billions spent on commissions over the years with little to show in terms of prosecutions or accountability. Bold One SA leader Musi, why do I say Musi? Musi. Bold One SA leader Musi Maimani says South Africans are tired of commissions and have seen too many inquiries with zero arrests and zero accountability. He referenced to the Zondo Commission. Those implicated are still in power, in business and in parliament. We are tired. The African National Congress has publicly welcomed President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to establish a Okay. Pardon me. I said I was gonna keep it intact. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
The African National Congress has publicly welcomed President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to establish a judicial commission of inquiry into the explosive allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwananzi and to place Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on leave pending the commission's outcome. The economic freedom fighters wrote a scathing letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa challenging the legality of his recent decisions regarding the police ministry. Adding fuel to the fire, Sunday Times reports former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo has slammed President Ramaphosa, saying it pained him to swear in ministers who had serious state capture findings against them. Ramaphosa also suspended advocate Andrew Chauke, the DPP in Gauteng, pending an inquiry. Lieutenant General Sibiya, accused by Mkhwananzi, has filed an urgent court application to overturn his suspension. Ramaphosa has since appointed Professor Firoz Kachalia as acting police minister, while Gwede Mantashe temporarily holds the post until August the 1st. The Umkhonto weSizwe party has filed a motion of no confidence against Ramaphosa, demanding that Parliament votes by secret ballot to protect MPs from political pressure. Will it pass in a GNU-dominated Parliament? We'll be watching closely. The state has officially closed its case in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. This follows explosive claims by advocate Defo, who alleges that Kelly Khumalo accidentally shot Senzo during a scuffle. Defo made a few allegations on podcast in Chill. He alleged that he was offered over 45 million rand to look the other way in the Senzo Meyiwa case. Kelly Khumalo allegedly shot Senzo Meyiwa accidentally during a scuffle in her home. Advocate Baloyi is implicated in covering up the truth and is allegedly tied to Chico Twala. Chico Twala, Kelly's manager at the time, is said to have phoned Ivan Khoza first to inform him of the shooting. According to Defo, 11 individuals linked to the case have died, supposedly to protect Kelly and Longwe. He claims the 5 men currently on trial were not present at the scene and have no direct link to the shooting. Defo mentioned a previously opened 2014 docket that needs to be reviewed, filing a stand statement from everyone in the house implying prior evidence was missed. Kelly fired back on Instagram, calling it rubbish and a humiliation ritual. She dared therefore to come get her if he thinks she did it. Kelly further said her message, enough is enough, it stops here and it stops today. In another shake-up, Transport Minister Barbara Creasy has dissolved the entire RAF board, citing dysfunction and governance failures. Treasury will now appoint an interim accounting authority, while an expert advisory committee and the SIU move in to investigate and help fix the fund. This decision is widely seen as overdue. The RAF has long faced claims backlogs, poor financial management, disbanded leadership teams, growing public dissatisfaction. Creasy has confirmed the move as part of the broader reform efforts, including a shift to the long-proposed road accident benefits scheme, which promises a simpler no-fault compensation model. PA leader Gayton McKenzie has suspended Kenny Kunene after revelations he was present during the arrest of alleged crime boss Katiso Molefe. Kunene claims he was just there helping a journalist, but the public isn't buying it. Social media users are asking why there was no footage, photos, or an actual story, even pictures of the arrest taken and posted by the young journalist. Isn't that the job of a journalist? Kenny Kunene has since resigned as MMC and as a councillor. Ironically, Gayton tweeted he still believes in Kunene, saying he'd vouch for him 1,000,000 times. Confused? You're not the only one. Kenny Kunene's resignation appears tactically smart, at least from a political survival standpoint. Here's why. Avoids formal council discipline, Kunene removed himself from the jurisdiction of the Johannesburg City Council's ethics and disciplinary procedures. Dada Morero confirmed that once he resigned, the city could no longer investigate him internally. Interpretation? If Kunene had remained in office, he could have faced a formal ethics inquiry, suspension of censure, political damage within the multi-party. Political damage? Okay. Political damage within the multi-party collision. His resignation cut that process off at the root. Controls the narrative. Kunene framed the resignation as being in the public interest and denied wrongdoing, allowing him to leave on his own terms rather than risk being removed or embarrassed by the council. That's a powerful PR move. He essentially said, I'm stepping back for the sake of the city. I did nothing wrong. It buys time while the PA investigates. The PA can now conduct its own internal inquiry, which he has more influence over, rather than being investigated in a public council forum. The PA also avoids dragging out a scandal during a politically sensitive time. Number 4, pushes the matter to police, not politics. Mayor Morero's statement, it's now a police matter, shifts the spotlight to law enforcement. That's a slower, less public, and less politically volatile process compared to a live-streamed city council ethics hearing or motion of censure. So, was it clever? Yes. It was a strategic move to neutralize immediate political accountability, avoid reputational fallout, and control the process. But it also raises questions. Was this resignation preemptive damage control? Does it set a precedent that officials can dodge scrutiny by resigning? Will law enforcement actually follow through? In the court of public opinion, it may be seen as an escape tactic, but in political chess, it was likely the smartest move on the board. There's been a major breakthrough in the DJ Somebody murder case. Police have arrested 4 men, including Katiso Molefe, the alleged mastermind behind the hit. Weapons recovered have been linked to other murders, supporting Mkhwananzi's claims about criminal-police collusion. Earlier, KwaZulu-Natal police boss Nhlanhla Mkhwananzi warned that the weapon used in the Somebody case was tied to multiple violent crimes in a syndicate involving both underworld figures and Rouge police. This breakthrough, led by the Political Killings Task Team in collaboration with Gauteng organized crime detectives, is a significant move in addressing complex syndicate-linked assassinations. A U.S. House committee has recently passed the U.S.-South Africa Bilateral Relations Review Act of 2025, vote 34-16. The bill mandates a full review of diplomatic ties and allows identification and potential sanctioning of senior ANC officials for alleged support to adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, and Hamas. Although still early in the process, the bill underscores deepening tensions after the U.S. refused credentials to South African envoy Mcebisi Jonas. AfriForum has supported targeted sanctions, emphasizing they should focus on corrupt officials, not ordinary citizens. Back home, Tigere Mbalula has taken direct aim at Jacob Zuma, calling him a sellout of note. ANC Secretary General Tigere Mbalula took aim at former President Jacob Zuma, branding him a sellout and a troublemaker for hijacking the Umkhonto weSizwe narrative and aligning with Morocco, contrary to ANC foreign policy. Mbalula was scathing. He accused Zuma of stealing MKSA ideals to build a rival party. He called Zuma's actions shameful, saying they weakened the ANC and betrayed its vision. He criticized Zuma's meetings with Moroccan officials under ANC branding, calling it a gross breach of diplomatic norms. President Ramaphosa has fired Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Nkabani following misconduct allegations. President Cyril Ramaphosa's swift reshuffle in the Ministry of Higher Education and Training has left many political observers connecting the dots. On paper, Dr. Nobuhle Pamela Nkabani's exit appears cautious. Her thank you letter praises the opportunity to serve and offers no hint of controversy. But behind the scenes, allegations of irregular seat board appointments and misleading Parliament may have precipitated her removal. For a president increasingly under pressure to restore public confidence in governance, this was likely a move of necessity, not strategy. Taking over is Buti Kwaridi Manamela, the long-serving deputy minister now promoted to minister. His appointment provides continuity, but also represents a challenge. Can he clean up the administrative and financial rot many believe has housed the department back? Dr. Nomusa Dube Ngube, a formidable figure from KZN provincial government, steps in as the new deputy minister. Her experience in public administration could help stabilize a ministry under scrutiny. This reshuffle is not just about names and titles. It's about restoring credibility to a department deeply entangled in student protests, NFC's dysfunction, and governance failures. Whether this new leadership duo can rise to the challenge remains to be seen. Opposition parties welcomed the move, while the ANC insists it reflects accountability. The EFF hosted a massive rally in Khayelitsha to mark its 12th anniversary. Julius Malema delivered a fiery speech, pledging support to whistleblowers like Mkhwananzi and vowing to fight against wasteful commissions and double police ministries. He demanded free education, slammed national dialogues as costly theatre, and warned the ANC ahead of 2026 elections. In his address, Julius Malema delivered sharp criticism of the ANC and government of national unity. He called for the retention and national elevation of KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwananzi, praising his courage in exposing corruption. The rally demanded the ouster of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, rejecting special leave as insufficient accountability. Election messaging was clear. The EFF aims to consolidate support in the Western Cape and beyond by mobilizing township voters ahead of 2026. Malema reaffirmed core party policies, land expropriation without compensation, nationalized banks, free education and healthcare, and opposition to VAT hikes and rising electricity tariffs. He slammed austerity budgets, arguing they fuel unemployment and social unrest. Turning to accountability, Malema criticized the use of commissions, highlighting the Zondo Commission as emblematic of expensive delay tactics. He emphasized urgency, calling for legislative and prosecutorial action instead. Despite high-profile defense to the MK party, Malema remained confident. He stressed that the EFF's message remains unique and will resonate with progressive South Africans ahead of the 2026 elections. The rally trended on social media for its slick staging and strong messaging. One user wrote, "Say what you want, but EFF knows how to throw a show." FlySafair pilots have gone on strike, disrupting flights nationwide. Major disruption is underway in South Africa's aviation landscape. After a pilot strike began on July 21st, FlySafair responded with a 7-day lockout. Now reaching the 2-week mark, pilots report they've nearly maxed out their legal flying limits, forcing groundings over safety concerns. Despite operating 95% of scheduled flights last week, the airline continues on a reduced schedule, with mediation via the ICYMI ongoing. Solidarity's demands include a 10.5% base pay increase and rest periods that enable family life and mental well-being. French giant Canal Plus has acquired a controlling stake in DStv. Many are left wondering what this means for African storytelling. Will African content remain at the center or be drowned out by foreign imports? Will African stories still be told by Africans or repackaged through a European lens? Will this merger support the growth of local production houses or sideline them for syndicated international content? We'll be keeping an eye on this one. The Minister of Electricity has called for a review of electricity tariffs. Across social media, the message is loud and clear. South Africans are tired of soaring electricity bills, from single mothers battling to power their homes to small businesses throttled by operational costs. Many say electricity has become a luxury, not a basic utility. Their frustration isn't just emotional, it's economic. Eskom's steep tariffs passed on through municipal markups and complicated prepaid systems have pushed households and SMEs to the brink. For years, communities have called for a fairer, more transparent and more affordable pricing models. And finally, it seems the government is listening. Minister of Electricity Tigere24 announced that the current electricity pricing model needs urgent review, with strong suggestions that tariffs be adjusted downward to match the country's economic realities. We cannot continue to burden citizens and businesses with unsustainable energy costs. It's time to look at pricing through the lens of development, not just profit, the minister said at a briefing in Pretoria. This is a significant tone change, a clear recognition that the cost of power is crippling economic growth, stifling entrepreneurship, and widening inequality. 2 grenades slipped through baggage checks at OR Tambo, only discovered after the flight landed in Ethiopia. A passenger departed OR Tambo for Addis Ababa with 2 training hand grenades in checked luggage, only detected later in Ethiopia. AXA Counters ACS, a private contractor, handled these scanners, highlighting extensive operational disputes. The airport's security chief, Lieutenant General Mzwandile Bitros, is now on precautionary suspension amid a wider misconduct investigation. Meanwhile, Ethiopian authorities have launched a criminal investigation into the traveler and the grenade's origins. Incoming Minister Firoz Kachalia says he's against the shoot-to-kill mindset. He advocates advocates for constitutional policing rooted in community trust, a view now sparking fierce debate. Before he's even officially assumed office, incoming acting police minister Feroz Kachalia has sparked fierce debate. His recent remark rejecting the shoot-to-kill mentality as a solution to violent crime has landed with a thud in a country gripped by fear, frustration, and daily brutality. Kachalia argues that sustainable policing must be rooted in constitutional principles and community trust, not reactive violence. But is this what South Africans want to hear right now? With high-profile murders, cash and transit heists, kidnapping rings, and home invasions dominating headlines, many South Africans feel under siege. The idea of criminals being met with force, even lethal force, is for many not just appealing but emotionally justified. But does it work? Critics say Kachalia's approach sounds good on paper, but ignores the trauma of communities who've been left to fend for themselves. Supporters argue that shoot to kill is not a policy, it's a breakdown of policy, signaling failure in prevention, intelligence, and law enforcement structures. Cameroon's Paul Biya is running for an 8th term at 92. He's not alone. Uganda's Museveni has ruled since 1986, age and term limits removed in 2005 and 2017. Rwanda's Kagame changed the constitution in 2015 to secure extra terms. Equatorial Guinea's Obiang, world's longest-serving non-royal leader, reset his term via 2011 referendum. Why does this matter? These constitutional coups kill democracy by guaranteeing incumbency. Public feedback is growing. Surveys favor term limits, but protests, example Burkina Faso, Senegal, show citizens are no longer silent. The result? Authoritarian rule, restricted freedoms, fraud, economic stagnation, and potential for unrest. We ask, should Cameroon return to term limits? Is a 90-plus-year-old precedent good governance, or an urgent sign we must protect democracy? And in Nigeria, former President Muhammadu Buhari has died in a London hospital. Critics again raised the issue, why do African leaders shun their own healthcare systems? Again, we ask, why are African leaders still dying in foreign clinics? Former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has passed away in a London clinic at the age of 82 after being hospitalized there since April. Buhari, a former military leader turned elected president, made headlines in 2015 when he defeated an incumbent. But in the end, like many African leaders before him, he died far from home. And so once again, we must ask, why do African leaders die overseas? Hospitals across the continents are filled with hard-working doctors, overwhelmed nurses, and patients who wait hours for attention. Yet presidents and politicians fly to Europe, Asia, or Middle East for their checkups, surgeries, and final days. They don't use the hospitals they built. They don't fix the ones we're left with. They govern us, but they don't live like us. Wrestling icon Hulk Hogan has passed away at the age of 71. To many, he refined an era of global wrestling fame, but his legacy remains complicated, tainted by a racism scandal and eventual WWE reinstatement. In the leaked audio, Hogan made racist remarks about his daughter's his daughter Brooke's dating choices. Yes. Please stop. Is that okay?
In the leaked audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the leaked audio, Hogan made racist remarks about his daughter Brooke's dating choices, referring to black men using the N-word and other racially charged language. Hogan apologized publicly, stating that the comments were made during a dark period in his life and did not reflect who he truly was. Though controversy and backlash continued amongst fans and several black WWE talents, still, to millions, he was larger than life. Rest in power, Hulkster. And that's your Tigere24 weekly bulletin from me, Palesa Marike, and the entire Tigere team. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay connected. We'll see you next time.